everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Magneto figure. So before we take a look at Magneto, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with the right arm of Apocalypse, which, as I said before, I've already put this build figure together, so that's how I'll show them in this video. He comes with alternate hands. Now, the alternate hands are very tough to get off because of his wrist guards right here, or his arm guards, I should say. Because it does get in the way. And, just about threw that halfway across the room when I tried that. He comes with translucent pink open hands. It's kind of like pinkish purple. And these are a little hard to get in as well. So I honestly recommend just leaving him with one pair on, like, there. Oh, just about busted my roller part. See, it's very tough. So, if you like one pair of hands on him and one pair of hands only, then just leave those hands on him, because that one's a little easier to get on there, but getting them off is a nightmare. So he comes with the translucent pinkish purple open hands. And, well, first of all, I want to say most of the time when they draw him in the comics, his effects are kind of like a light blue, like a whitish blue kind of color. Well, they're white and have hues of blue in them. So, I'm not really a huge fan of the pink hands, the translucent pinkish purple hands. And for magnetic effects, he has these lightning effects that I hate. And they're done in the same color as his hands. And you can just slip them on there like that, and like I said, they just look messy to me, so that's why I don't like them. And just put this one. They're so complicated to get on. I feel like I said, they should connect at a place. That way they don't look so messy. So there you have him with those ugly effects on, which I don't like, as I've stated before. And I'm not a fan of them. I don't think they even work for Magneto, because they're lightning effects. It doesn't really look like magnetic effects, I should say. I feel like maybe the effects that came with Havoc would have been a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But let's go ahead and take those off. And now, for his final accessory, he has an alternate head. And another thing that doesn't make sense to me about this is that this is his 90s hair. Because in recent comics, he has short hair. Like his normal short hair. In recent comics, when he has this look, he's either been bald or short hair. And this is him with his 90s hair, where it's longer and curly. So this head really doesn't fit with this figure. With a classic Magneto, it would. Maybe, I've heard that there's going to be a Magneto, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch 3-pack, so maybe this goes with that. And maybe there'll be a short-haired Magneto in that pack. No, I'm not going to say there will be, but that would be good. That way you could switch this head to that Magneto, and the head that would come in that to this Magneto, because this is 90s Magneto. I suppose it could have been one of the different artists that's drawn Magneto. So if he has had this look in an issue that I just don't have, leave a comment down below and tell me if he's had this hair with this particular look. But like I said, as far as I can tell, he hasn't, because all the issues that I have, he has short hair with this look. But the head sculpt does look really nice. The hair has some paint variation to it. It has a blue wash over it, and it looks really nice. I feel like maybe they should have done a whitewash over his eyebrows, because they kind of stand out. But even though the head sculpt doesn't go with this figure, I think it looks nice. So let's go ahead and pop that off. And now let's take a look at his normal head sculpt. So for the normal head sculpt, I think it looks really awesome as well. My only complaint is that it kind of bows out on the right side here. Like it should go in, but it bows out just a little bit. But the head sculpt looks really nice. I like how they added the red around his eyes. Although, on camera here, it kind of looks like pink. But it's actually red. They have a little bit of red lining his eyes. And that looks really nice. And they didn't add any paint shading to his eyebrows. Same with this head sculpt. And honestly, I think I would have just preferred a removable helmet. That would have been nice. but lately Hasbro's just been doing alternate head sculpts. That would have been nice if it was just, if they could figure out a way to make the hair swappable with the helmet. But I suppose then the hair probably wouldn't stay on. It would be nice to do that instead of just have 2 head sculpts. But we do get a new cape piece here, which has the shoulder pads attached to it. And I can't remember in the comics if the shoulder pads are supposed to be over the cape. They kind of look too bulky that way. This is how they looked in the package. And I think it looks better like that. But the cape does look really nice. On the outside, it's really dark purple. And on the inside, it's red. And I think it was cast in red, and the purple was painted over it. I'm not sure which way it actually was, because it looks really nice, and there's no missing paint to it. So that's a good thing, that I can't tell which color this was cast in and which side was painted. Which side was painted over. So Hasbro did a really nice job on that. Now, as for his body, Hasbro did really awesome with that as well. The red is painted over the black. And most of the time when Hasbro does that, you get, like, some of it will be brighter in some places, some of it will be dark in some places. But it looks really nice. Hasbro has improved that. Hopefully they will continue to improve that and continue with this if they continue to paint red over black. Because black over red goes fine. But red over black, the black will show through, and then you'll get lots of scuffs. But this looks really nice. And this does use the Pink Panther mold, body mold. Was that the first figure to use that mold? I can't remember if it was or not. But that figure is what this is. And he does have new boots as well. And they look pretty good. They're just cast in the red color. And he is a really shiny figure. I feel like maybe they shouldn't have made him as shiny. They could have put a little bit of a dull coat over him. Now, for his boots, I don't mind. And his gauntlets really aren't that glossy. They have a little bit of a shimmer to them, but they're not that glossy. Which, the gauntlets are new as well. So, overall, I think the paint-ups came out really nice with this figure. Like I said, usually the red is done horribly. But it's done really nicely this time. So now let's go over the articulation of Magneto. So he has a ball-jointed head that can look back all the way. And he can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can only move out that far because of the shoulder pads. If you put them over top of the cape like that, then the left will move out a little farther than the right. He has swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbow. He has swivel at the wrist that can move side to side, but it is hindered right there. And apparently it'll fall out. Where'd that go? There. So it is hindered by that. And I guess if you move it too far, then it will pop out. But you can only move it side to side so far. And it can move up and down. Well, it can move down more than up because of the wrist guard right there. He has an ab crunch that can move back all the way. And he can't crunch forward all the way. He has swivel at the waist that can move side to side. He has ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. And he can kick back all the way. He has swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, swivel at the boot, swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So the articulation is pretty good on him as well. So let's go ahead and tuck those back under there. Like I said, I think they're supposed to go over the cape, but it just makes it look way too bulky for him. So now let's do some size comparisons. So let's get him to stand. And by the way, this is the all-new, all-different Marvel outfit. This is the post-Secret Wars Magneto look. And here he is next to the classic look, which I'm hoping Hasbro updates soon, because this is a pretty outdated body mold. But here's the classic Magneto. You can see that this one is just a tad bit taller than him. Now, if you look, this actually uses the, was it Series 1? No, I think it was Series 2? I want to say Series 2, but it uses the Iron Man body mold. You can tell because the briefs and the belt is still there. That's why his belt sticks out, is because they added this rubber belt over top of Iron Man's belt. And you can tell because of the hands as well. The torso is new because it covers up the arc reactor. They covered that up. But this uses the Iron Man body mold, and that's pretty hilarious. I mean, it worked, but now you can tell that it's pretty outdated. So hopefully we'll get a new one of Magneto, of classic Magneto, sometime soon. And here he is next to what I'm using is my comic Professor X, the X-Men movie Professor X, and this is the variant. There was a movie version which was in his black suit, and then there was this blue version which resembles his comic suit. They just painted it a little differently. But here he is next to what I'm using as my comic Professor X, which I won't have to worry about that next year because there's 2 Professor X's coming next year. There's supposed to be one in the X-Men wave and one in the Riders wave. So overall, I really like this figure. I'm not a fan of the hands, and the head doesn't actually go to this version of Magneto that I know of. But overall, I really like it. I think it's a really good figure. And the paint apps really surprised me with the red over the black. So I would highly recommend it. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share this video, comment down below, and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.